So for my first source in the annotated bibliography, I chose Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling, published on June 21st, 2003 by Scholastic Books. And this book is really the main reason I chose my topic. And while the series is not overall post-truth, this book specifically revolves around the idea of dissemination of misinformation through the repeated theme of the government hiding things from public to stop fear from spreading. I feel like it's incredibly important to the topic of fake news and other post-truth ideologies within popular culture, just because of how well it was received and how well the series is done. So, my second source is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, also by J.K. Rowling, published on July 16th, 2005, also by Scholastic Books. And similar to the last one, the novel is not a post-truth book, obviously, but it does revolve around some of the ideologies. And I find it's most important just because in pairing with the Order of the Phoenix book, it kind of plays out how disinformation or dissemination of misinformation plays out, especially in wars. So for my third choice, I did Ender's Game by Scott Orsine-Card, published on January 15th, 1985 by Tor Brooks. That's the publisher. So this entire novel revolves around the idea of simulacra and the line between what is real and what is fake being forgotten. The main significance of this source to my topic is exploring how, when we no longer understand what is real and what is fake, we as people become susceptible to outside influence without even being aware of our actions and the effect these actions have on the world as we know it. So my fourth one is Waiting on the World to Change by John Mayer, recorded in June of 2006 and released on the album Continuum on September 12th, 2006, distributed by Aware Records. And so the song is obviously not post-truth, but it does have one verse that I immediately thought of this topic when I heard it, and it heavily intertwines with post-truth boys. So the verse I'm referring to is as follows. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance, so we keep on waiting for the world to change. Now, if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, they would have never missed a Christmas, no more ribbons on their door. And when you trust your television, what you get is what you got, because when they own information, they can bend it all they want. So I feel like this directly hits the idea of misinformation, and how much it hurts when little to no fact checking is done, and the effects that has on society, but more shows it in a different light of it being a song. So my fifth source is Fantasyland, How America Went Haywire, 500-Year History by Kurt Anderson, published on June 5th, 2018 by Random House Publishing Group. So I've not read the entire book, but I have read the introduction, and I feel like I can still use that as a source of information, because I think that the introduction speaks largely to the question of credibility and how information is dispersed. And kind of going with popular culture, as conspiracy theories become part of everyday life, which maybe not everyday life, but a very big part of life. Questions regarding credibility and how information is getting to each other comes into question. So my sixth source is an article entitled Fire Festival Co-founder Billy McFarland Sentenced to 6 years in Prison by Andrew Flanagan, published on October 11th, 2018 by the National Public Radio Organization. Once again, the article's not post-truth, but it's still important. I kind of plan to use more of the documentaries that have been made about Firefest, but since I haven't seen them yet, I felt this is a good place to start. And so I feel like this is important overall just because it shows how the courts can respond. when people use social media as a platform for spreading false information that has direct effects on people. So for my seventh source, I have The Stewart/Colbert Effect, Essays on the Real Impacts of Fake News by Amarnath Amarzingam. No, that's definitely not right. Published in 2011 by McFarland Publishing. So to completely be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this source or how helpful it'll be, but I did read the intro for the book, and it explores the effects both these shows, The Tonight Show with Jon Stewart and The Colbert Report, have on a voter, and how much the shows pertain to a level of political knowledge, as well as how much knowledge is gained from them. So I may be able to use the source in the first respect, as well as in the last, of how much knowledge are people gaining. But since I haven't written the paper, I don't know how much it'll fit in right now. The eighth source is Wag the Dog, a film produced by Barry Levinson and Robert De Niro, released on December 25th, 1997, distributed by New Line Cinema. So I'll be honest, haven't watched the actual movie yet, but after talking about it in class, as well as reading the synopsises and a plot description, I feel like this book could be really relevant, just because it falls right in line with the idea of information being released to sway the public, especially in this manner where it's a fabricated war to stop scandal from releasing, which I feel like also kind of comes into play with the Harry Potter novels. So my ninth source is Enron. Patrons is an article entitled Enron, Patron Saint of Bush's Fake News by Frank Ridge, published on March 20th, 2005 by the New York Times. So this article documents the propaganda that have been spread by Enron and Kenneth Lay, as well as propaganda that the Bush administration had put out, such as town hall meetings being filled with pre-screened fans, as well as any dissenters were thrown out by security. So it doesn't exactly meet the idea of post-truth within the bounds of popular culture, but I feel like in juxtaposition with the Harry Potter pieces, it brings more validity into the idea of governmental dissemination of false information. And my last source is a article entitled Spreadable Spectacle in Digital Culture, Civic Expression, Fake News, and the Role of Media Literacies in Post-Fact Society by Paul Michaelis and Samantha Viotti, published in April 2017 in the American Behavioral Scientist by Sage Publications. So this article examines how the spread of misinformation and the willingness of media sources to perpetuate partisanship, as well as different polarizing information. It also explores how these things, when coupled with the fact that facts from the opposite point of view aren't always there for people, and they can be easily missed, allow that misinformation or information to spread even more widely. So I feel like this source would be really helpful in the course of my paper, as it falls right in line with how questions of credibility or whether or not someone has credibility grow. All right. Thank you.